Hello, Bitrip and everybody else. Sorry, I've muted myself because I'm still not happy with this explain. Streamlabs is refusing to hook on to the executable for explain properly. It is literally absolutely just doing what it wants to do, and it's got no regard for the explain system. I can't even get it on screen. The moment I get it, it goes away. Okay, well, there it is now. Guys, I'm gonna do my best. Let's see if we can do something with it. I tested it earlier after making the changes and it was perfect. So, enough of that. Let's get going.
And people are finding the stream again, which is good.
Yeah. My friend, it's fixed temporarily, but the thing is I want it to be fixed permanently, and for some reason after this last update, it's just not. It isn't. I don't know. EHEH.
Have you started the down the bottom?
I've started everything I'm supposed to start, Uncle John. Not sure what you're referring to.
Sorry, Ryanair.
Yeah, Ryanair has been running in the background now, so we're actually going to be pushed for time. It started at 1:27. Yeah, I'm going to stop it and restart it. We've lost too much time with that. Let me just restart it quickly. Right, we've got that. Alright. Hello, Bob. Thank you for coming back. I'm sorry to have to put you through this. Not my fault, but it's obviously a system fault. It didn't like the fact that we wanted to see explained in a proper full screen scenario. So.
And the skies are clearing over Manchester, so you've got a better chance of hitting me with the eggs.
I've been keeping an eye on that, Paul.
You guys. Yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Just stand still. I know. Look, I mean, we're coming over there at a hell of a speed, and the wind's going to have an influence. So if you start jumping around, it's not going to be fun. We have to hit you at least once.
No.
Shame. Nah, we won't. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're good. Oh yeah, we can actually paste this now. No point in putting that chart in the stack, so let's go that one. Bob says hello again, Uncle John.
Hello, Bob.
So we're gonna do the little teardrop thing again. I'm looking forward to that. I always love flying that one. For some reason, I just do. It's satisfying. Valid transition point for the SID. Is that now REFSO? Yeah, I suppose. See if that fixes it. Huh? Why? clearly a better one. Same old, same old. Hello, Norman. Why would it not want to take direct? Just doesn't want to. Just want to quickly start my Navigraph chart separately, that we can see if we can put it in there. Doesn't like that. There's a direct to command. Why does it not like those things? Upnet. Maybe Ned. Okay. See if it will take it that way. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, problem solved. I've never ever had to do that. That's the first time in my life I've had to put in a waypoint name there at the end and then a direct to. First time.
And we've all seen you do it, so it's another learning experience.
Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of that vacuum just now, guys. Let's switch over. Let's get the packs loaded. Right, what else do we need here? No, there's not much we need here. We can actually just check the loading, that the loading is completed, because that was done earlier. 6.4 and takeoff weights reasonably close. Here's that truck again. Okay. So
Is that driver of that fuel truck blind or something?
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's got a issue. (399H). Oh, lovely. Love it. Go over that VOR, turn out, turn back. Awesome. Seems good to me. Well, I'm sure you've flown that MCT arrival, have you not?
I have, yes, a few times.
Yeah, I love it.
And if I get homesick, I just extend a bit, fly over Pole Hill, VOR, and back again.
Yeah.
It's not too far away.
YouTube is Still complaining about my key rate frequency. I have no idea. I thought I put everything back in place like it's supposed to be. Uh, you know, let's concentrate on the flight. It's gonna make me feel better. Hey, Albapino. Uncle John is a good FO, yes.
Hello.
May I tell you something? Paul and McTrying aren't bad guys either. I think we've got a good team here, and the guys mean a lot to me as my first officers.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Two five two at 104. How's that for an average wind? Question is it against us? I think that's from the side. We'll see.
Oh, have you got jet stream coming through?
Looks like it, yeah. I don't have PFPX open, so I can't see it visually. And when we did the planning earlier in some toolkits, some brief actually said it can't give us the maps. Plan fuel is trip fuel. Yes, that's correct. That is what you're going to fly for the actual trip. Up 0.1. And our heading is to 14. Albapino, did you program the FMC manually or with a company route that you imported from SimBrief? We're on 11 minutes again. That's awesome. So we're getting there. Good timing. Two, 1, 4 and 36. Okay, because what I've seen is a lot of guys make mistakes when they program manually, then the waypoint takes them too far, you know, they don't get it. Albapino, if you look at the OFP, that trip field over there, that's your planned field, alright? The reserves is not accurate, but it's the sum total of 1527 plus 1058. That's just a rule of thumb. It's not perfect, but it gives you a good reserve fuel. All right, if you get that those things correctly, you should not have a problem. Make sure when you create your OFP in SimRef that it knows it needs to take the Boeing 737-800 profile, because it might be that it's taking a different aircraft profile or something. If you've got the profile right and you've got those three values right, it should all work perfectly. Bitrip, I'm going to try and remember that. I just don't understand why it would complain about it today, because my output is exactly the same. If I go to my video settings, it's exactly the same as it was ever. The only thing that changed was the encoder. So Bitrip, I'm at an absolute loss with this. I'm going to make a private stream, so I don't, excite everybody every time I start a stream. But I'm going to have to fight it out, because it's like what I see on screen, what my settings are, and what it's actually sending is two different things. Albapino, yes, you have to add those two together. That is your reserves. And like I said, it's not scientifically 100% correct, but it's at least a value that you can work with. Bitrip, my honest opinion is I'm going to uninstall, remove Streamlabs completely. Just get rid of it and then clear out the registry, make sure there's no trace of it, and reinstall it, because it's like there's a ghost in the system, honestly, and it is not fun, because honestly what I see and what it tells me it gets is two different things. You're welcome, Albapino. Sorry, Paul, you wanted to say something.
I was just going to butt in and say that unless you're somewhere remote or mountainous, the final reserves is usually 30 minutes flying time, isn't it?
That's part of it. Yes, that is definitely part of it. So what happens
and
is...
then,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go.
And then you, of course, there's a line there for extra. So if you're expecting bad weather or a chance of a go around or something like that, you can carry a bit more for security.
You can. So the ICAO rule basically says you need to be able to circle for 30 minutes above your alternate airport at circuit altitude. And that's the amount of fuel that you need to put into alternate. So you need to be able to get there and circle for half an hour at circuit altitude. That's basically what the 30-minute means. That's why I always put a little bit more, because it just doesn't feel as if I'm going to have enough fuel to get to the alternate and do 30 minutes just with that. That seems a bit low, you see. So I always add that little bit.
After which you scream at ATC, get me down.
Yeah, or I come down. Right, we're at 15 minutes. We can almost start the APU.
Are we allowed for pushback?
I've set up everything in the previous stream already, Uncle John. I just need to do my welcome message and set the overhead, and then I'm basically ready.
We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
We do ask that all passengers take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until carrying items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Sounds good, Alex, about what I tried to explain.
flight attendants prepare for departure, cross-check and all call, thank you.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Grounded cockpit. Tow is driving up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I made a mistake. I didn't retract the stairs, so the door couldn't close. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Okay. GPU disconnect.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, what a surprise. I've just connected to WATSIM and I've got ATC. I have ATC.
Excellent.
I'm just trying to figure out which one is the right one to talk to. Euro Center. Yeah, I almost pushed back into ATC and then I would have been upset. I'm seriously just Euro Center. 135, yeah, I think it's this one. 135450. Pen and paper.
Masters Control, International 5, Hotel Echo 11 Tango, climbing flight level. Yeah, initially climb flight level 240 inbound, Sunip.
Wow.
Locked. Master Shade, International 5, Hotel Echo, good evening, climbing flight level 240, inbound, Sunip.
International 5, Hotel Echo, Master Shadow, Squawk 0373.
Squawk 0373, International 5, Hotel Echo.
Master Control, a very good day. Transavia 11 Tango, climbing flight level 330.
Correction, Transavia 11 Tango, Master Shadow, Squawk 0331.
Squawk 0331, Transavia 11 Tango.
Maastricht Control, Ryanair 399 Hotel, requesting IFR clearance from Eindhoven to Manchester.
Alright guys, it's the third or fourth person calling. If you check my ATIS, it says I do not deliver clearances because I only control above flight level 245. Therefore continue with local ATC or Unicom 122.8. See you later.
Whew. Piece of
Master,
shit.
good afternoon, Whiskey 9 Papa Romeo, flight level 340, inbound to Leasu.
What's going on?
Whiskey 9 Papa Romeo, Master
No,
Shadow,
I've got a bit of a attitude problem.
Master Maastricht, Asafi 501, climbing 390, inbound Luton.
Tanzania 501, what Maastricht shall identify.
He's a little bit cocky, so you know what? To hell with Watson. I'm not flying on Watson today. There is no ATIS available for him, so he goes off and he says, if you check my ATIS, you would see that I don't do clearances. I'd like to see his ATIS. There's no ATIS published anywhere that I can see in any of the utilities that I currently have open. What an asshole. Yeah, he needs a shag. No, to hell with him.
I'm just having a look. I can only see that EURM Centre, whatever that means.
Yeah, that's Maastricht. Hang on a second.
Switching to Unicom 122, that's Malay 31582, bye bye.
Swiss 170, Maastricht, hello, identify. Just for your information, the Swiss call sign is Sierra Whiskey Romeo.
Hold a second.
Lufthansa 6 Kilo Yankee, ready for descent.
6 Kilo Yankee descent flight level 200, Unicom 122 destination, Nachmittag.
Herzlichen Dank, schönen Nachmittag. Maastricht Whiskey 9 Papa, may direct to Costa if it's available.
It's not available, maintain current routing please.
Roger, flight plan routes. UK National 5 Water Lake, we request flight level 350, sir.
It's approved plan flight level 350, break easy 13 Alpha Quebec, Maastricht, hello, squawk 0301.
Squawk 0301, easy 10.
Okay, so by double clicking it, I actually got that little bit of information that I did not know about, which still means that it's not even listed. I mean, if you look there at ATIS, there's supposed to be a frequency, or there's supposed to be some other way of getting it. This is just highly irritating. To hell with him. We'll do it our way. We don't care. So let's go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
I think what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of homework. I'll take down his name, and then we'll discuss this a little bit offline, because I don't think this is the way to do it.
Does he sound like a job's worth?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to make a big fuss of it. I don't like his attitude. We'll take it further offline. Alex, the frequencies that are listed and the coverage that is given is all over the show. Alright, I have hundreds of hours of ATC hours on VATSIM myself. Okay, I am not an idiot. Unless the rules changed, what this guy is doing is just he's pissing people off. That's all he's doing, because that's just not how I was taught and how we did things. You know, I'll investigate a little bit further, because I also don't want to find myself looking at the changed rule.
Operation complete.
Then
Go
I'm
ahead
an
and set the
idiot.
parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Dirk is obviously busy, right? But what I'm complaining about is the fact that the information he talks about is not readily available. I have got more than 1,000, maybe even 1,500 hours on VATSIM. I've got more than 1,000 on IVAO. I've got hundreds of hours on ATC. Never had anything stupid like this happen before, because there are ways of doing things and ways of not doing things. You see, you don't know when you're off and when you're on. And these guys are basically confusing everybody. And on top of this whole disconnect story that they're trying to bring in, they're busy breaking the network now. They're busy just chasing everybody away. Because guess what's going to happen? Now I'm just going to stick to Iveo, to hell with Watson. You know, if those guys can't manage the network properly, if they don't know what the hell they're doing, I'm not going to waste my time with it.
Well, if it was a hobby of mine, I'd probably go out of my way to help people rather than do the opposite.
Yeah, but these guys don't believe in that, it seems.
Maybe a minority.
Oh, it will be. It's always the minority. But this is true as in the rest of the world, in politics and everything. When you have a radical minority, you need to squash them as soon as you can. Otherwise, they lose. You're going to lose because they grow in strength, and then you can never beat them again. So you need to get rid of them as soon as you can. But again, let's just be reasonable. If the rules changed and I didn't know about it, it's my fault. Then I should pick up on that. But just listening to Alex, and between my opinion and his opinion, the one guy shits on you for calling and the other guy shits on you for not calling. What do you want? That's my question. What the hell do you actually want? And if we can answer that question, we'll be a little step closer.
Yeah. I mean, I was part of the group flight yesterday evening in the States, and as a novice, wasn't expecting to have my squawk code sent by a message. And when it didn't appear as a message twice, it was too much for me to take, and I disconnected.
Yeah. You see, now typical, now this guy's run away. I see there, Bitrip said he's gone offline now. Gee whiz, really? Was it worth it? Was it honestly worth it? No, I thought I got his name. I don't have his name. I thought it was going to be here.
Well, next time you get an awkward question, Dicko, you need to go offline and run away.
Yeah, I think so too. Next time somebody gives me a little lip, or like this guy this morning on that other video of mine, next time I encounter an asshole, I'm just going to run away as well. Maybe that's a good idea.
Anywho.
Not.
Anyway, all right. Well, in that case, let's stay online, and if he comes back, we'll tell him to go where the sun don't shine. Call a supervisor on him. So sorry. So sorry. I agree, Alex. You don't speak to people like that. I don't care who it is. You just don't speak to people like that. I'm already worked up. Paul and Uncle John knows now the whole scenario building up to this stream. I'm already worked up in my personal life. I'm worked up because of this guy on YouTube earlier today. I'm worked up about so many things. All I want to do is relax. I really, really don't have time for this kind of nonsense when I feel like I want to relax. Exactly, Alex. Did I actually start the other engine? Looks like I did, so see, let me rather concentrate on everything now. Okay, so Eindhoven traffic, Ryanair 399 Hotel taking off runway 21.
Approaching 2-1.
And there's this silly disconnect message again. I'm pushing 25 frames, 27, 28, and it tells me that it's going to disconnect me.
On runway 21.
Toga.
knots. D1. Positive grade.
I'll go have a look. I've been working the whole day, Alex. I have not really spent much time on Discord or reading messages on Discord, so to say.
1000.
Yeah, I saw you said you were gonna do it. I just didn't see that you are actually doing it now because, really.
Can I just ask, Nico,
Yeah.
why there seems to be a little dip in the climb as you're coming off the runway, maybe 100 feet up or something? You seem to have to just pull a little bit more to keep it going.
I don't think I trimmed it properly. I must have trimmed it a little bit too low. Usually I add about 30% to the trim, you know. So if it says 4.8, I usually run about 5.1. I think I just went below 5 today. So that's the one thing. The other thing is at 1,000 foot, the cutback actually kicks in. And that will also dip it a little bit. So I'm not sure exactly which one of those is you want. So.
Yeah, well, certainly with me, virtually every time I think. It's literally 10 seconds off the ground. It levels off, even though I'm not moving the yoke, and I just have to give it a little bit more back pressure.
Well, Alex is right there. You come out of ground effect. That's the one thing. You know, just one of those things. I think once you leave ground effect, then you are more in the air kind of a thing. You know, you need to compensate. That's normal. I just, you know, didn't concentrate so much on it. Now, when I do another takeoff, before I take off, tell me to just pay attention.
I'll try and remember. It's interesting about the ground effect, though.
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, makes sense. This SAS aircraft that is behind me, is it somebody on stream? Somebody that can hear my voice that we are familiar with? SAS 249. Any ideas, guys? Yeah, it is, because you get the sensation of falling a little bit, you know. I know, Alex.
CFAS in case of any unexpected turbulence. We have an excellent team on board today and we are...
So somebody's chasing you, are they?
Oh, there we go. It's Bo Nagard. Thank you, my man. Thanks. Awesome to have you here then. I was just curious. Thank you for flying with. That's actually also very cool. Are you also actually going to Manchester? Looks like it. According to my flight planner. Looks like it. Looks like we're both going there. Oh, come on. It's just kicked me. Bugger off, man. Huh. Thank you, Bo. Got it. I want to quickly take the stop bar away. Excellent. I want to take the stop bar away. I want to show you my frame rates. I want to show you something. Look there. The moment I click inside of X-Plane, I go 25, 26, 27, right? The moment I click outside of X-Plane, it drops to 19. That's when I get the message now come up. So it's going to drop slowly. It goes down to about 20, 19 eventually. And then the message comes up. So basically what's happening is I've got 4 screens. And the 4 screens obviously take their toll when X-Plane is not in focus. So if I click back in X-Plane like that, look, I immediately get 5 or more frames that comes back. So Alex, while you're thinking about the measuring and all, I mentioned it on Facebook I think earlier, that I'm not sure if these guys are measuring the correct thing, because I think more and more people are getting multiple screens, they watching video, they browsing the internet, doing all kinds of normal additional activities while they're flying on VATSIM. So what happens is those frames drop because X-Plane is not the focus app on this PC system. So this is a bigger problem than we think in terms of trying to work this out, but you, Alex, being a programmer, might come up with a better idea of how to actually measure this. And one thing is for sure, 3J FPS does nothing for me. I've tried to use it for more than a year. I just got rid of it eventually because there's just no program. Even there's 2 others that I tried, or 1 or 2 others. These things just don't give you extra frames. You think you're getting, but it's not. It just doesn't work. So I'm at a loss. Okay, so to recap, and after all the frustration, I've obviously now clicked on the next controller's little thing in Xpilot. This one says top down when no local ATC for London Fur Alright, so in other words, now we're sitting with a situation. This guy also being a center, he now covers everything to the ground, so you need to get your clearance, everything from him. The other guy in his own wisdom decided he does not want to do it, so he made the note, and unless you have the actual knowledge that you need to click on the name twice, or let me show you. Then you won't know. This is ridiculous. So if I click Manchester Center, there you've got his little thingy coming up. If I click London, there it tells you top down when local ATC, when no local ATC for London fur. Alright? That begs the question, what's happened to the rule? We were all taught from the beginning you always control top down. So somewhere somebody changed the rule and I don't know about that. I wonder how many other VATSIM guys don't know about this rule, that the ATC can simply chop and change as they wish. One guy controls top down, other guys just say stuff it, I'm not doing it. And then he's rude about it. What a story. What a story. Look here, now if you look at those frame rates, when I actually click and move this thing, look, it drops down to 15 just because I'm touching this. Now when I go back there, oh, it's kicked me. It simply kicked me off again. Let's go back, connect. And we're back up. Ugh.
Choke.
No, that I get it. That I get. It gives you the main window. But it just means that the life of a multi-screen pilot just got exponentially worse. More difficult. By the way, Chronic Gaming, this thing that you and I spoke about earlier about the scaling of X-Plane, it's actually back. I thought I beat it and I let you know we did it. It was working fine in all my testing, and the moment I actually went live, the first thing it did was it scaled my X-Plane back down again, and I actually lost the first portion of the stream. I had to go and stop the stream, delete the video and try again. That's how bad it was, because this time it really bombed out badly. I had to kill with Task Manager, kill the Streamlabs OBS. It was hell. It was just not fun. So I'm not sure. I said already on stream I'm gonna have to uninstall this whole Streamlabs OBS, kill everything, start fresh over, see what we can do in that regard, because it's like there's now a ghost in the system. It's just not stable. It's really
Should the 1 for Papa London, hello, it's the Bobberden 1 Bravo. Lufthansa 940, contact Scottish Control 133.8. G45 Charlie Delta, hold Bravo 2, contact the ground 121.85, bye bye. control with no delay at Total 1, cross 23 right. Once vacated, taxi to hold Tango 123 left, no delay. Yep, just cross runway 23 right with no delay, hold Tango 123 left. EG94 Alpha, expect like landing clearance as 1 to cross ahead, service wind 260 degrees, 14 knots. Expect landing clearance, EG94 Alpha. EG189, make it quick. No, don't stop, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going.
Interesting conversation. London Control, Ryanair 399 Hotel, climbing through 350 for 360 inbound AppNet.
Ryanair 399 Hotel, you're not in my airspace, you're to come, bye bye.
Oh, tickle me silly.
We didn't hear the reply there. What's going on?
He says I'm not in his airspace and I need to stick to Unicom. So let me show you. I'm about to fly into his airspace, right? There I am. I'm literally about to enter his airspace, right? So if that's the way he wants to play it, let's shut up until he calls us. I don't know. If this map isn't correct, then I don't know. We've got London Centre covering this whole area according to the map. I'm about to fly into it. Fantastic. If you don't want to talk to me, bye bye.
So as a controller, you would accept a call from somebody just about to get into your area, presumably?
Yes, I would appreciate that as a controller. And there's the thing has disconnected me again. Let's just reconnect. So I would appreciate somebody letting me know that I'm about to enter. Well, he's about to enter my airspace. That's again how we were trained. That's how we were taught. I know that even I do it. I sometimes just ignore it and I wait for the guys to call me. That's also normal. But as a controller, it's nice to know when somebody is about to enter your airspace. You can give him a squawk code if you need to. You can check where he's at, whatever. You know.
I suppose you brief yourself about all the planes in your patch.
Well, your eyes is not going to be stationary at any one point in time. You're continuously looking through Euroscope, seeing where they are, what they're doing, what you need to do with them. There's little tags on each aircraft that you need to continuously update for flight levels, for the next waypoint kind of a thing, if you need to route them. There's so many things that you need to do. Hello, Reggie. Yeah, I'm almost there. I'm still over the ditch, my man. If that aircraft decides to go down now, we're gonna need the boats. So we're almost in the UK. I don't know. The best is, you know what? I think I'm obviously over frustrated today, and I'm not gonna keep this video. By the way, guys, I'll delete it afterwards. So I just don't want this on my YouTube. It's just too much frustration and nonsense. You know. So. In the future, maybe I must just shut up. Let these guys talk to me then. If that's the way they want to play it. But I bet you my bottom dollar, the next guy whose area I'm going to fly into is going to shit on me because I didn't tell him I'm coming in. So, I don't know. You got me. Don't know what they want.
Perhaps I'm a little oversensitive, but if one cross word can throw my mood, so it could put me off ATC altogether.
Well, you see, I'm not really that sensitive, right? But I'm frustrated. That makes me sensitive today. And today I feel like fighting back. You know what I'm saying? So today is not a good day to mess with me. You know, and this is why I'm now frustrated. I hope that somebody doesn't come
I've decided to just stay quiet.
yeah, I hope it doesn't put you off VATSIM altogether. Let me just finish my sentence because I was starting to read what the other guys say. All right? I hope it doesn't put you off. But I seriously hope VATSIM fixes all this nonsense where the one controller can just decide to do one thing and another controller can decide to do another thing, because that is terribly confusing and it's not good for politics or for the business. Definitely not. So don't be too sensitive, you know.
No, I'll try not to be. But, you know, yesterday evening, for example, I was expecting to have a squawk code told to me.
Yes, yes.
Literally, this is your squawk code. And so that threw me a little bit. And then when I couldn't find the bloody message for whatever reason, when it pinged, I thought, well, you know, can't deal with this.
Yeah. You see now, Crescendo, you bring up a very valid point, right? I live in South Africa, literally at the bottom end of Africa. We have our way of doing things. Maastricht has their way of doing things. London, England, UK has got their way of doing things. And I swear if you go to Scottish Control, you're going to have another thing. Okay. Here's the thing. We are not real pilots. We are simulator pilots. We do not read NOTAMs. We don't spend the same amount of money on flying as the real world guys do. The real world guys have got a dispatcher in an office that handles all this kind of crap, and Maastricht need to understand that guys flying in there or out there may not know the local SOP. We have got Navigraph, and Navigraph sure as hell does not contain that SOP. I'm not going to go and add extra workload to try and find the Maastricht VATSIM page, to try and read through 100 pages to try and find out what this SOP is about. There is something called common decency and good manners. Instead of barking at somebody, all he needed to say was, like Alex said, listen, I don't do it, call me when you get to me, kind of a thing. But the guy was rude, and me being the third guy, it was the first time I spoke to him. I was not there 5 minutes prior. I did not hear the other guys. I don't know. Me personally, don't think that controller needs to be a controller. I personally think he needs to wait until he feels better, get out of bed with the right side, then go be a controller. But so that's just my opinion. He can do what he wants. Now I know for future reference how to handle him, but it was a terrible introduction. All right, anyway, enough of that. Reggie, just follow, brother. Just come. Wherever you are, follow. And that's him, dude. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for joining us. It's awesome to have you here. Today is not a very good day for me, so I do apologize. I am ranting a little bit, and I'll try and keep it a little bit cooler, but so far VATSIM is trying my patience. But thank you for following me. I'm usually a good guy, and I'm usually in a good mood. Hey guys, I don't suppose I'm lying.
No, just thinking about what 20 minutes you can be dropping eggs on me, so that'll be fine.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do it out of principle, because just now you feel I'm taking my frustration out on you, and if the one egg hits you harder than the other egg, you're going to think I'm mad at you now, and I'm really not mad at you.
No, there's not a problem.
Yeah. Anyway.
One thing we can talk about is how living under the flight path into Manchester from the northeast, I never see a plane come in according to the stars. They all get vectored in.
Oh yes, for sure.
It's really interesting to watch, you know, because obviously I check the charts and all that other good stuff, and there are a couple of waypoints that they are compelled to fly over, but otherwise just vectored in. Apart from, actually, KLM tend to do it much more by the book, so maybe that's something about the Dutch nationality. But interesting stuff, though.
Yeah. No. I've got the tomatoes. Uncle John's got the eggs, actually. You see there, Bob's still encouraging me.
He's obviously been to that tomato throwing festival in Italy.
I've just seen it on TV. Bob. Uncle John, are you still here?
Just about.
There's nearly full coverage at Manchester by the looks of it.
Looks like it, yeah. Reggie, at this point in time, I'm telling you, I'm going to fly it by the book, so I'm going to follow the star, and until an ATC intervenes, I will be following the book. So I think that is reasonable. If anybody wants to fight with me for following the book, we can throw them with a book, as easy as that, you know. But if we start doing funny things, then they're going to throw us with something. So rather stick to the rules, stick to the star, fly the flight normally until the ATC intervenes. If they intervene, good. If they don't, then you followed the book. Yes, Bob. Yes, Bob. Just now I'll put a couple of potatoes in there. You might get a surprise.
So that's what the extra fuel allowance is for.
It's for the potatoes. Why do you think I asked you to stand still? I mean, it's one thing. Excellent, Krister. Welcome.
I'm getting ready for the egg drop.
Chronic Games, no, I see it very seldom, very seldom. All I can think of is it's got something to do with the shaders. I'm using Xvision with a Vivid preset, and I must be honest, it's very stable. I very seldom see flashing clouds.
I got more of it when I started to use, is it Vivid in Active Sky?
Is it? Nah.
Is it a Vivid preset? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah. But not outrageous, you know.
Did you install the Active Sky clouds on top of it?
I'll just have to have a think. I've got nothing but active sky.
No. But if you install the Vivid preset, it actually changes the clouds, and I think this is where the problem comes into. So what I do is I install the Active Sky performance clouds after I did the whole Vivid application thing, you know. So that overwrites my clouds with the Active Sky clouds, and I think that's the difference. That's why I'm not getting it, because it's definitely got to do with shaders that I can think of. Bitrip, you must just be careful. You can't run too many scripts together, especially not when you're running the Xvision with Lua. So just be careful. You'll have to experiment with that. But for me, like I said, I just install the Active Sky on top of oh, come on, man. We're not below 20 even. Now we went a little bit. Okay, this is getting tiring. I'll think about whether I'm going to reconnect or not. Well, I'm running Xvision with a Vivid preset, and look at my clouds. I don't see those flashing clouds that I used to see. There must be merit in running the Xvision with a proper preset, sorting out the shaders, and then obviously using the Active Sky clouds like I do. There must be some merit in it. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So you should be over the coast now.
Yeah, I am. Should be underneath the clouds. There's the land. You can see there's land over there. So there must be something underneath us here. Okay, here's another question. I've also got OCD and in certain aspects, chronic gaming, I tell you, it kills me, like, you can't believe. But anyway, the question I have now is, if you have to double click in Xpilot to get these silly controllers little notes, which we've never had to do before, how do you do it in Swift? Is there the same problem in Swift? Do you have to double click somewhere? Do you have to go to a certain page? How do you find out in Swift as another client how to get these silly little notes? And I'm going to call them silly little notes because it's obviously not obvious. It wasn't for me. So how do you get them? Does anybody know? Chronic, there's a difference between a popping cloud and a flickering cloud. What you see when I move like this is the clouds pop into position, but the flickering is like there's a light being turned on and off the whole time. That's the way I distinguish between them. So sorry if I misunderstood your interpretation, but I mean, if you just pan around, you can see them pop now and then, but there's not a constant flickering. You see, there's a bit of flickering there, over there. See, that's what I'm referring to as flickering. But when I move around and they pop, I just call it pop. Thanks, Krister. Yeah, Christer, I've not even disconnected again. Bo, I'm terribly sorry if you're still on the stream with me. He's flying behind me. I'll still think about it if I really want to reconnect it for the descent. I'm kind of relaxing now eventually, so I don't know if I really want to put myself through that stressful situation of having to deal with a crazy program disconnecting you the whole time and the rude traffic controllers, you know. Chronic, there must be an answer. Maybe you can fix it. Don't give up. It's like me with this Streamlabs OBS. Like I said, I'm gonna uninstall it, reinstall it. There's got to be an answer. Hello, Dominic. Welcome back. "51 nautical miles, so we've got 1095 and 232. At Lamb 4.1, 3.47. Petrip, did you set the auto throttle engage lock throttle setting? Reggie, shame. Yeah, it's not our day today. Yeah, too bright is too ugly, you're right. Well, it's not supposed to go back and forth, Petrip. That's the whole idea. The idea behind that setting is to allow the Zibo code to actually do the whole VNAV story for you. So it's not, your throttles is not supposed to have an influence. The only time that your throttles must have an influence is when it goes to armed. When you see on your PDF it says armed, then your throttle levers are supposed to have an influence. Until then, like me right now, it is not supposed to have an influence. You can see my little triangles are moving there. I'm moving them up and down. There's no influence. That's the best way to have them. Right, the Tango Alpha India, that is your anti-ice. Okay, so basically what it says is if you have icing information and you know you're going to have icing, let's say between 15,000 feet and 6,000 feet, you can actually put 15,000 and 6,000 feet in there to prompt you for your active ice, anti-ice. You know, so that's what that is. I've never used it. I've never had anybody show me. I haven't gone that far in my actual training. So when I speak to one of the real pilots again, I'll ask them how exactly it works. But I know it's got like a a top and a bottom, or a bottom and a top. I'm not sure which one goes where. You can specify your range where your anti-ice is supposed to be on. You're still gonna have to switch it on, but I think you should get a prompt somewhere. Okay, I need to check this again. I can't remember this. 232, 232. 232. Steve, I've got almost all the Airbuses. I fly them hardly ever. I basically fly the Zibo. You know, Zibo's one of my babies, so I tend to stick to it because of who I am and what I do. Then I've got a whole bunch of GA aircraft. Again, I only fly it for FS economy. You know, every now and then it reminds me I better do a FS economy flight to pay my aircraft again. But yeah, that's about it. The main thing that I fly is the Zibo. I've flown the NGXU 5 or 6 times now in the last month since I got it, and that was just to show some of the guys what it looks like and how it operates versus the Zibo. I've done a couple of streams offline, just private stuff with that one, but other than that, no, I fly the Zibo. This is about it. No, I don't think you're going to get rain without clouds. I think that's just a flight sim anomaly. The problem with me is I've spent almost constant 2 years now in this cockpit. I'm very familiar with it. I know this plane very well. I know, you know, what's spotting. For me to fly another plane now feels like I'm home, but I'm not home, if I can put it that way. I struggle to land the GA stuff because I try and land them like the Boeing. I struggle to land the Airbuses because I try and land it like the Boeing. And the Airbus that I want to fly, I'm waiting for the next update. So other than that, the only thing that really gives me joy at this point in time is just the Zibo. Alex, I agree with you, but with all the time I've spent here, it's made me a very bad GA pilot. And then when I look at the Quest Kodiak, for instance, that I fly in FS economy, I hope those guys update that thing very soon again and make it actually possible to land it properly, because I always bounce and I'm all over the place. The brakes are simply too sensitive. You roll it for no reason. You know, while you're taxiing, you go in a barrel roll kind of a thing scenario sometimes. So I hope they fix it, because that's one of my favorite planes, that Quest Kodiak. Visually and flying performance wise, it's really good, but the landings suck. And I don't really spend much time learning how to handle it within the allotted parameters. You know, if I can add that as well, but I hope they fix that. Right, I need to look at my chart quickly. What is my descent altitude? 35. Okay, so that will take care of the landing for us. Bitrip, I'm not on VATSIM anymore, and no, 2000 that's a myth. If you're flying IFR, you need a code. It's only when you are flying GA, and that standard code is then dependent upon the countries. In South Africa, we squawk 2000. In Britain, they squawk 7000. And in America, it's 1200. So that all depends where you are and what you're doing. But when you're flying an IFR flight, you need a code. Steve, I don't know. I'm not familiar with any other plane in terms of a 47. Yes, Aviation is busy making a freeware 747. You might want to check them out. I'm not sure how far they got with that, but it sounds promising. They're trying to recreate the Zibo project in terms of a 747. It seems very nice people. I've spoken to some of them. Very, very nice guys. So look for Yes Aviation 747 if you don't want to spend money. Otherwise, I don't know, you're going to have to spend the money, see, try, come back to us, tell us if it's worth it. Yeah, I was saying earlier, I'm just starting to relax. I think you should pick up in my voice. I'm not as frustrated as I was in the beginning of the stream, because personally I was frustrated. I was frustrated with the stream software. I was frustrated with freaking everything, and then this VATSIM guy just blew my top. So I'm seriously considering not connecting again, just so that I can keep my sanity today. I hate losing my sanity, you know, so I will rather stay offline. Paul, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I promise I won't throw you with eggs. You don't have to go. You can really stay here.
Well, your track doesn't come over my house, actually, so haha.
Thank you. Now you don't. Why did you retract the message, Reggie? Just as I wanted to listen or read it, you took it away. Hello, Lucien. It's fine. You didn't miss much.
Echo Golf Charlie Charlie Airport information Lima 1419 Zulu weather wind 259 at 12 visibility 10,000 sky condition 1900 scattered 3800 scattered temperature 8 dew point 5 QNH 1016 advise on initial contact you have information Lima Echo Golf
Thank you, Krister. You know, guys, I try and stay level-headed. I try not to lose my temper. I try not to get frustrated. I try all these things. I try and be fair. But sometimes, like today, it's very hard. It does sound like that, eh, Krister? Swedish girl. It's either that or she's French. Or something like that. Ah, because I missed it. I didn't see it. That's why I was just curious. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, Reggie. Well, Bo, I can still see you are behind me on my map. I've got access to the Watson traffic here on the map, so that's awesome. Really nice to have you fly with today.
I've just had notification that you're streaming live, Nico.
Only just. Wow. Okay.
Just now, yeah. Weird.
Christer, no, I don't think I do. Let's go have a look. See there. Negative. I do not have prevent downloads on approach active. It actually runs throughout, so I've never had a problem with it. That's why I don't even think about it. Well, there is water in those clouds and it is minus 10 degrees, so best we put on our anti-ice for this one, and keep an eye out for the wings as well. Christer, that's not a bad idea. I'm thankful and grateful I have not had problems yet, but that's not a bad idea. If that works for you, do that. By the way, we were talking about the throttle levers things. If you look at your display there, on the primary display it says armed. If I move my levers now, it will respond. See there. it will actually respond to me, and then immediately the system detects you need to pull back. So I'm just pulling back to idle to allow the VNAV code to take over again. It's very important. You don't want your Zibo code to be influenced by your controller, so keep an eye out for that. When it says armed, you can move it. When it says anything else, the system is supposed to be in control. And if you have the auto throttle engage lock throttle setting on, it's the best option, because when it's not in armed, you can move your throttles any which way, it will ignore them. And that's what we want. We don't want anything to interfere with the Zibo code.
A quick question or comment. I noticed in this descent you've been maybe 10-15 knots faster than the bug on the speed tape there.
Yeah.
But you've not felt like you've needed to do anything about it. Is that because the plane has been actually on profile? You've not been getting high or anything?
Yeah, I just leave it.
So you can relax about it?
Completely.
Within a few knots?
Yes. The only time I'm going to stress is when it gets to my never exceed speed, which is depicted by the red line at the top. If it goes in there, I can get serious damage, risk limb and life. Sorry, let me just pause my stream. Yeah, I'm also listening to the stream now because I'm testing the speed. Anyway, so Paul, the idea is that unless it goes in there, when you are above 10,000 feet, you don't use your speed brake. Yes.
Okay, that's useful, thanks.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. When you go below 10,000, you tend to have it handy, Lucian, I run the GeForce Experience. I don't do anything special with it. It does do things for me. And in Explain only one. It gives me the drivers. That's the only function it has. Let me put it this way, I am unable to take screenshots with it when I fly in Explain, but the screenshots work very well when I fly in P3D. So those are the two functions. It gives drivers and it takes screenshots. So that's the only reason I use the GeForce Experience. I don't have issues with it apart from the fact that I simply cannot take a screenshot in Explain while I'm streaming. When the Streamlabs OBS is closed down, I can take my screenshots, I can do what I want, but it's like the two don't like each other, so we just let it go. Other than that, it does nothing to me. Yeah, Christer, this descent, if you do it properly, and if the plan allows for it, because sometimes the plan asks for a very steep descent, but usually it's crazy fun to do these descents. You must go try fly in the mountains, do an RNP approach, high altitude RNP approach. You'll be amazed how good this thing can fly then. Exactly. Steve, the reason for that is I'm on the chronograph, the top one. That is your chronograph. It only counts up to 60 minutes, then it will reset. What I usually do, if you look at some of my other streams, I would use the chronograph to time my time on the ground. When I do my pushback, I go over to the elapsed timer. This is this bottom one. The elapsed timer actually counts the hours and the minutes, which is the one that you really use for flight. The other one is used for engine start, for all kinds of maneuvering and stuff, because the nice thing is your elapsed timer will always run, so you can run your chronograph on top of it. Alright, so if we want to measure 30 seconds, if we use the wing anti-ice, for instance, we're not in the clouds yet, but what we then can do is we can run the chronograph on top of the elapsed timer. We can then kill it, and the elapsed timer goes on independently. It doesn't stop. The only thing is my concentration has not really been there, and it's not like a training flight, so I haven't really used it properly, but that's the difference between the two systems. You're welcome. And there is the airport. Wow, and there's a lot of lights going on there. So we're gonna go to a right turn out now over the Manchester VOR, and then we're gonna do the teardrop approach and come back. Bit of shaking going on there with those clouds influencing us here. Ryan, I'm not going to land right now. I'm going to fly the teardrop. Look at the navigational display now. You can see it better. Then you can see how The plane is gonna go, turn out, then come back. This looks an interesting scenario with the clouds coming up now. No need to say sorry, I'm sure you didn't see it earlier, that's fine. That's why we wait for it to just turn around and then you'll see. So there we are on the localizer, pretty nifty, very nice. Oh, that must have been very nice, Bob. Blogs? That's a very interesting question. I've only had smoke in the cockpit because the trainer wanted to be funny with us, and I paid too much attention to putting the oxygen mask on that I lost half of the simulation there. I reckon so. There's got to be a reason for it. I think it's probably got something to do with the bleed air. If you had switched off the bleed air, the smoke wouldn't have come inside. It would have stayed outside. It's the same that you get with your anti-ice fluid. You switch off the actual engine bleeds to prevent it from pumping, you know, the gases into the aircraft. So, yeah. It's not so much the packs, it's more about the engine bleeds, I would say, I think. But again, I'm not a qualified 737 pilot. We can always query that.
It reminds me of why you something in your de-icing procedure.
Yes.
To stop the de-icing stuff getting into the...
It's exactly that. You switch off your engine bleeds, because the engine bleeds is the thing that supplies the air to the packs. So I might even go one step further, and you know, once you switch off the engine bleeds, there's going to be no supply to the packs. You might as well switch the packs off, and then we've got a little bit of flickering for the question earlier, but it's very little. So yeah, to close that conversation, I think if you switch the engine bleeds off, you might as well switch the packs off, you know, because otherwise stuff will get in there into the cabin. Look at this. Speed bleeding off. Come now. Oh, there it's lifting. Wow. There the engines are spooling back up. That was close. Right. So there goes the wing anti-ice. Let's run it for 30 seconds. Steve, no. Not unless you're on the ground. Your damper stays on forever, in flight at least. Mine is on. It made me worry. Thought you saw something I missed. Right, so we're gonna put the approach on. You were on the right track. Oh, absolutely. The best place for answers to these kind of questions is the FCOM. But make sure you get the 2014 FCOM. Don't use the 2008 or the old 90s one that's in the Zibo Google Drive. It's too old. The Zibo is much more evolved than that. So some of those things obviously are for the older models of the NG. So just Google the 2014 model. Make sure you get that one. And then start reading. It is one hell of a read. Don't read it like a storybook, you know. Go use it as an encyclopedia. When you want something, go find it. Otherwise, it's just too much. Right, that is a spectacular view. And there I go out of my cockpit. Wanted to take a screenshot and I pressed the wrong button. Well, then if you were watching Greg do that, there must have been a reason for that. And the Premier one is obviously not a Boeing 737. So I watched a video the other day of him where I think he said that, and I didn't pay attention why. I can go back and look, but it's two different aircraft first of all, and I mean he's a very well qualified pilot. So if Greg had to do it, he had to do it, but I can't tell you why, unless I go back and find it again. At the end of the day, if you need to use your rudder and you need to fly this aircraft manually, there might be a reason to switch it off. But even when I hand fly it, I just leave it on. Paul?
Yes, sir.
That's an interesting question we can ask the real world guys. In terms of the yaw damper, whether they ever switch it off. I don't think they do, but we can ask them when we remember.
Well, the whole reason for a damper is to stop unhelpful excessive movement,
Exactly.
so I can't think why you would.
Yeah. He's talking about Premier 1 driver flying the Premier 1. It's obviously a different aircraft. It could be that there was turbulence and he had to have more control because, you know, it will damp the abilities that he has. So I seem to recall something like that, but I'll have to go back and watch why he did it. There has to be a very good reason. Yeah, and to just answer the rest of your question, yes, I like Greg. I like his videos. I like watching what he does. I love his Porsche. Love the aircraft. I've got a couple of guys I follow on YouTube, which I think are tremendous flyers, you know, so he's just one of them. I was watching Baron Pilot earlier just before the stream, and also like him a lot. In the beginning, I kind of struggled to catch on to what he's trying to do, but now it's like lots of fun. Steve Okanivo and so on, you know. Good guys. Right, so we want to go to 4,000 for the go around. I'm a bit late on my flaps there. I'm talking too much again. I want to pause the flight quickly. I want to talk to you guys about something. When you get to this point, we're on short finals now, it's very important to have your thrust levers not on idle. It's happened to me and it happened to someone else I was talking to earlier, where they land, the thrust levers are in idle, and then they try and switch the reverse thrusters on. It's not going to work. All right, so guys, look at the little triangles there. One of your things that you need to do is get them in tune, in line with your actual engines, which is what I'm going to do just now. All right, because if you don't do that, your reverse thrusters is not going to work. Just a little tip. That's why I needed to stop it quickly. So now I'm going to lift the levers and just make sure that they actually balance out there. And now we can kill our auto throttle because we've got the throttles.
500.
Ah, thanks, Christer. Oh man, this is Paul missing a birthday. It's family, Paul.
Approaching.
Yes, good relations of mine.
Okay. I think he didn't like that pause over there.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
See there, the reversers now kicked in and I'm able to use them. I forgot about my auto brakes.
80 knots.
Christer, if you are in landing configuration at the final approach fix, in other words, you've got landing flaps, gear down, everything is in order, it shouldn't happen. Number one, I was too late on everything, so I'm messing around with the code. Number two, I paused. So taking all those things into account, it's no wonder why it porpoised. But usually, I know you watch all my videos. It doesn't happen. It's just I think it's because I waited too long to do everything. You know, the forces being applied and the phase of the flight and everything that happens, you know, just influences it badly. That was the other thing. I switched on the wing anti-ice. Guys, oof, yeah, my concentration wasn't here. It's supposed to go on for 30 seconds and then off. And that's the whole point of using the chronograph. And then I got talking again, you see. Oops.
Uncle John's been suspiciously quiet.
I've got an idea. He's tired. He's resting.
He was flying earlier today, I think.
Yeah. The only thing else it can be, Christer, is speed. There must be a speed issue. Bob, I'm glad you liked it, my friend. I didn't like it so much, so apologies again for my attitude today. It wasn't a good one. I'm feeling much better, by the way, now. So if you guys had some value from it, fantastic. I'm happy for you. Thank you so much. Oh, Johan, you want to freak out more people. If Zibo does that, can you imagine? Oh, 20 more people crying. This is a nice time of day to land here. Look at the sun and the way everything shines and does its thing. Wow. You're welcome. You're welcome, Christer. Mark, are you around?
Max lurking as well at the moment.
Okay. Bob, I hear you, but you know what? I feel very uncomfortable with it. I'll think about it. If you come back in an hour or two's time and it's gone, then I do apologize. But I'll think about it. It used to be a feature that you need to switch on or off. So it doesn't matter, or it didn't matter, in which area of the world you were. If you switched the northern lights on, you had them. We even had them here in Johannesburg in Explain. But I'm not sure how it works in Explain 11, Christer. In Explain 9 and 10, it was a simple graphic on-off switch that you had to trip to get the northern lights. So the facility should be there, whether it is automatically visible or you need to do something to see them. I don't know. That's the question. Okay, so I just want to quickly lock this flight and then we'll go for questions and answers. Mark has a question there I know of, and then we'll see. Lucian, you have to check the health of your system, my friend. That's not a Zibo problem I can help you with. You need to seriously check the health of your Explain and your computer system that you're using. Nothing just quits. Also, please look at the log text file in Explain and also look at your Windows Event Viewer. And I have no idea what Mac actually has, if they have something like that, but you're going to have to do some troubleshooting there. Right, get these engines off. Alright, okay. Mark, let me read your question again. Alright, first of all, you're going to have to switch off NOAA. You're going to have to remove NOAA. You cannot use NOAA in conjunction with the SIM kit Sim Toolkit Pro weather, because that immediately brings you in a scenario where you've got two weather engines fighting with each other. So you're going to have to use Xorganizer, or you're going to have to physically move the Python scripts for the NOAA weather out of play. It can't be in your X-plane. So that is the first thing regarding your question. What else do you want to know about the weather? Because the rest is very easy. I'm going to switch off my active sky and switch the Sim Toolkit one on. Let's see what it does. Alright, so display capture. Yes, this is what I've done now. I've switched on the real world weather. Okay. That doesn't seem to work for me. I'm not sure whether it's broken, whether it's my system or I did something wrong. I'm not sure. I can't get the voice to actually speak to me. And then obviously I've got that some weather on. My update is 5 minutes, and then on this one I stopped the updates below 170 knots flying speed and below 5,000 feet. I suppose that's AGL. This weather is not going to have any influence. I hope that makes sense. Just want to switch this off so it doesn't clash with my active sky. But I want to tell you something, Mark, in all honesty, and I've now flown with this, right? This is as good or better than NOAA. So if I were you, I would put my NOAA on probation, put it somewhere, send it away for holiday on a sabbatical to the Himalayas or something, send it off somewhere and try and use this one for a few flights. The only thing that I don't see in this controller is you cannot change the level of turbulence, which might or might not be a problem. I don't know. It was fun flying this yesterday. It really worked very well. Okay, guys, any other questions that you guys might have?
Nothing from me, thank you.
Okay, Paul. Paul, you mean this thing? Welcome to the new weather system. To use the system with X-plane, please set your simulator weather to custom and select. Oh, so this actually also uses that. I didn't know that. Well, by default, my X-plane is set to the meter.rwx because that's what Active Sky uses. So this piggybacks basically on what they do. System is not compatible, correct? Reggie, this is part of Sim Toolkit Pro. If you watch my video from yesterday morning, you'll see I did a whole story about Sim Toolkit Pro. It's a nice new free add-on to do your flight training and everything else. Oh, sorry, not flight training, flight planning, and nice little add-on. You see, plugins or Lua scripts that set weather-based data refs will disable the custom meter. That's NOAA. That's why I say you have to disable your NOAA. Send it away on holiday. All right. Also, if you use customized weather in X-plane, it will kill this one. If you're using XP Realistic Pro, ensure you disable clear air turbulence, and surface turbulence. Okay, that's interesting. I have not seen this. I didn't bother to read this. I just jumped in and started using it. So I have never even seen what that guy's talking about. Sorry, Dan. Let's have a look, see. If he is experienced, ensure you disable clear air turbulence. Where is that? Let's go through this. I don't know. I don't see something like that. Okay, I'll have to ask Dan, the developer, about this one because this doesn't make sense to me. Nothing. If you go to flight configuration and you go to custom, all you do is you just select the custom file. You click done. I don't put anything else there. I might have misunderstood you there. What do you type in the meter? Oh, no, you don't type anything. You have to find the file. You have to find the file. Let's go back there. It's obviously got the file, so now explains closing. Oh, today's not my day. Looks like explains bombing out on us. It's still there, but it's not doing anything. Ah, there you go. meter.rwx mark, there you go. So all you do is you select the meter.rwx file. It puts it in there. And done. And apply changes. So I'm just going to enable this weather quickly again. So you can see I've enabled it. I'm not sure if we can force this. Oh, I have to probably take the stop updates off. And then it should probably start loading weather again. Looks beautiful. Wow. Really, really, really nice. I just want to change it to winter, see what it looks like. So we're going to get some snow here. You still there, Paul?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, just checking. So quiet.
What's waiting for this winter view?
Oh, goodness. Okay, Reggie's using a Mac, so I has to wait. Hello, Uncle John, you back?
Yeah, but back up. I do apologise.
No worries.
I dropped.
Yeah, shame, shame. I'm just sitting here thinking it's interesting you mentioned that because obviously some Toolkit Pro has now filled a void. The next void that I'm hoping that they fill quite soon is the multiplayer one where they've got their own multiplayer system where we can see each other without having to deal with VATSIM or IVAO or Pilot Edge or any ATC. If they implement that, it's going to make my life so much easier to do training with people as well. Just to have the facility to see each other and to fly together for fun and not to have somebody bark at you. Mark, you need to go up one level. You need to go to the X-Plane 11 folder. You can't be in the output folder. In your root X-Plane 11 folder, you'll see the file that I pointed you to earlier. Ach, Bitrip, I'm not even going to check. I thought I took down his name. I was confident I did, and then I saw I didn't. So, tough. Tough. But I can tell you one thing. If it happens to me again, I'm going to say something. I probably shouldn't. Christer, we have played around with it. The biggest problem that we have with that is we need an easy way to get people who are not familiar with computers and IT to join us. Even with Join FS, the last couple of sessions we had, it took me like 3-4 hours to get everybody online together, and then by the time we fly, I'm dead tired. I'm tired because I had to log into everybody's routers and do port forwarding, and I had to set up this and that and the other, and it killed me. I don't want to do IT support when I want to fly, Christer. That's my reason for looking for an easy way out. If you connect to VATSIM, you click a button. If you connect to IVAO, it's just much more user friendly to connect there. But then you've got to contend with ATC that doesn't have manners, and think they're God's gift. But anyway, one of those things. There we go. All right, so guys, just as a matter of interest, I am using orthos, and I I forgot to tell you. So there, the trees are all snowy and all, but the orthos are still giving us the summer textures. Damn it! Oops. Look at that. This side of the airport, there's no precipitation. If we go to this side, look, there's precipitation over here. Something's falling. Interesting. All right. Well, guys, that's it for me. I'm thankful that you guys stuck it out with me. I'm terribly sorry for the technical problems and the human problems. Next time it will be much better, I know.
I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Good, good, good. Bob says that he thinks I must leave the video. What do you guys think? Must I delete the video or must I keep it? Is it good to keep? Is it good to go?
Leave it.
Tough question.
Yeah. Okay, I'll think about it. I shall think about it. Gentlemen, ladies, if there are any on stream, you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. We shall be back on Twitch during the week. So please make sure you pick up the Twitch link below this video in the description. And then we'll be back on YouTube over the weekend unless anything specific changes. So we'll talk then. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Christer. All right, David.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.